Welcome to another episode of the DJ Podcast. I'm going to be showing you the Xone42 mixer. This is the little brother of the Xone42, which you've probably seen or have heard of before. And for me, it replaced a Pioneer DJ-M500, so it was a big step up. This is a 4-channel mixer. We have 2 channels that are dual line inputs, that's channels 2 and 3, where channels 1 and 4 have 1 phono input and 1 line input. There's also 1 microphone and USB channel. You can either choose to use the USB input or a microphone, and we'll get to that later. You also have the filters selection here, which is controlled on the right side, and this is one of the Xone filters that these Allen & Heath mixers are known for. You also have the FX send return knobs, some really nice long faders, and a crossfader with the curve adjust here on the side. You also get 2 headphone outputs, so if you're mixing back to back, you can have 2 DJs plug in their headphones directly to the mixer, although you do only have 1 control over the level and the queuing options for those 2 headphone outputs. The Xone42 has 3-band EQ on the 4 line or line phono channels and a 2-band EQ on the mic/USB channel. Each of these EQs are full kills, which means that it completely blocks out all frequencies in those bands, whereas the microphone or USB input goes from -12 to +12. You also can use the 1 filter on 1 or all of the channels at a time. This filter is controlled over here. You can see that right now we have low pass filter selected. You can also have a band pass, high pass, or you can use multiple filters together to create different effects. The frequency for the filter is controlled by this 1 knob here, and you also have a resonance control up at the top to control the degree of change the filter adds to the sound. You can also send the effects units through the filter, and you can send the filter to the crossfader. See here, I now have the crossfader turned on, and you can simply choose which side you want each channel to go to. You can also adjust the curve here by turning this knob. That adjusts the curve of the crossfader. Or if you don't like to use the crossfader, you can simply turn it off. You can also choose with this button here whether you want to use the USB from your computer as an input for this channel or the microphone. Let's take a look at the back of the Allen & Heath Xone42 so you get a sense of what connectivity options you have if you decide to get this mixer. First, you have the USB audio input and output. This is if you want to have music coming from your computer going out into one of the 4 channels, or an input in case you want to take your booth or record outputs and record your mix on your computer going through the mixer. You also have the 4 inputs, as I mentioned before, 2 being line phono and 2 being dual line inputs. You have a ground plug here. That's for all you turntablists. You also have the record output, which outputs at -8 dB, so your chances of distorting your mix are very, very low. You have a booth output, which I use for recording. You also have the XFX send and return outputs, or output and input, as RCAs, and that's for using external effects units. And finally, you have your mix out as XLRs, which can be plugged in directly to some powered speakers or to your PA system. You also, of course, have your power input, which is rated from 100 to 240 volts, and a power button on the left side of the unit. After having the Xone42 for about 6 months now, I'm actually really happy with the mixer. Yes, it doesn't have any effects like the Pioneer or many other manufacturers have on their mixers, but the 1 filter is really nice, the mixer sounds great, and it has the features that I really need. I get my effects through Tractor, so I don't need the effects built into the mixer. I really like the long faders, and the full kill EQs are really awesome. So if you're looking for a 4-channel analog mixer, and you don't need the effects that you find on something like a Pioneer DJM series mixer, I would highly suggest that you check out the Xone42 from Allen and Heath.